So, if you're a ride-hailing driver, you've probably felt it coming, right? The rise of self-driving cars. It isn't some distant sci-fi threat anymore. It's a reality that's approaching fast, and it could wipe out most driving jobs within the next decade. But what if? What if there was a way to turn this massive threat into your single greatest opportunity? Well, this guide lays out a powerful and honestly pretty unexpected path forward. Let's dive in.
Look at this. This isn't a movie prop. This is a Waymo robotaxi. And these things are already on the streets, completing over 150,000 paid trips a week in cities like San Francisco and LA. Your real competition isn't the driver next to you anymore. It's a machine that can work 20 hours a day and, doesn't need a paycheck.
And what's really kind of crazy is the speed of this takeover. We're not talking about some far-off date like 2050. The source material is projecting that by 2028, just a few years away, a huge chunk, maybe more than half of all city trips will be autonomous. So when robots dominate the market, what happens to the human drivers?
Well, this is the number that should really get your attention. 70%. According to the guide, that's the percentage of drivers who could lose their jobs by 2028. It's a jarring number for sure, but it sets the stage for a really important pivot, because where one door slams shut, another one, surprisingly, is swinging wide open. So, with that threat established, where is this escape route? It's not in another ride-hailing app or some new delivery service. The real opportunity is hiding in plain sight, inside a different national crisis. The massive, growing gaps in our emergency medical transportation systems. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. You've got these two paths. On one side, there's ride-hailing, where your pay is going down and the robot competition is already here. On the other side, you've got emergency transport, a field where demand is actually growing and has a built-in defense against automation for at least a decade. You're not just a driver anymore, you're an entrepreneur.
And this opportunity is fueled by a very real crisis. I mean, look at these numbers. In the UK, average ambulance waits can be 48 minutes, when the target is 18. In the US, a single ride can cost thousands of dollars, which forces people to avoid calling for help. This huge gap between urgent need and affordable access, that's where you come in.
Okay, so here's the key question, right? Why is this field robot-proof for the next 10 or 15 years? Well, it all comes down to regulations, liability, and honestly, the most important part, the human element. A robot can't help an elderly patient down a flight of stairs. It can't offer a reassuring voice to someone in a moment of sheer panic. That's your competitive moat.
Okay, so the opportunity is clear. But how do you actually make the switch? The guide lays out a super practical 6-month plan to go from being a ride-hail driver to a certified transport professional. And you can do it all while you're still earning an income.
The heart of the whole thing is getting certified. And that only takes about 20 hours. I mean, you could knock that out between shifts over a week or two. After that, it's just about prepping your vehicle a bit and then using a platform like God's own app, which connects you directly with hospitals and clinics that need your help.
And check this out. The financial barrier is incredibly low. We're talking about a total investment of less than 3 days of your time and around $500. For that price, you're not just getting another gig. You're starting a real business in a protected, high-demand industry. That's a pretty amazing deal.
But this isn't just about replacing one driving job with another. No. The real power in this whole model is how you can scale it. This is about evolving from a solo driver into a business director with multiple, even passive income streams. This table really drives the point home, doesn't it? The source lays out a sample breakdown where you could work just 45 hours a month, a tiny fraction of the usual ride-hailing grind, and potentially earn more than you did before. How? By adding passive income from commissions and from mentoring other drivers who want to make the same leap.
And the key to all that scaling is what's called the reseller model. It's actually pretty simple. You help other drivers make the same transition that you did. As you mentor them and support them, you earn a passive commission from the platform for every single trip they complete. You're not just building a business, you're building a network where everyone's success helps fuel your own.
So this brings us to the core choice. The source material frames it as a crossroads, showing two very, very different futures for a driver who's standing right here, today, making a decision about what's next. I mean, the pictures say it all, right? On the left, you've got a future of constant uncertainty, fighting with robots for fewer and fewer fares. And on the right, you've got a future of purpose, of professionalism, and of real security. The choice is visually stark, and the long-term outcomes are even more different. Let's just look at this projection over the next 7 years. The path of a typical driver leads to, well, potential replacement. But the path of a transport founder, according to this guide, leads to a higher income, a business asset you can actually sell one day, total job security, and a profound sense of purpose. Think about it. You're not just transporting bar-goers anymore. You're literally saving lives.
The guide puts it perfectly with this quote. It makes the decision deeply personal. This isn't just about industry trends anymore. This is about your own story and what you're going to say when you look back on this exact moment of choice. And that leaves us with the final critical question. Both of these massive shifts, the robot revolution and the healthcare crisis, they're happening with or without you. They are unstoppable forces. The only variable, the only thing you actually control is how you respond. So will you be displaced by change, or will you be prepared to harness it and build something better? The choice is yours.